Oh man, how influential was Clayman and the band In Flames to me? I can't tell you enough how much they, as a band, and that record have shaped myself as a musician and Killswitch as a band. We probably owe you guys royalties from our riffs. We may have subconsciously borrowed some things just because when all those records came out, it just meant so much. I loved it so much, and still do. They're insanely good records. The songs are killer. Bjorn and Jesper's guitar parts are insanely awesome, catchy. It's so cool to have heavy music with such an emphasis on melody and melodic content. You know, instead of just, shapes on a fretboard. We're talking diatonic structures and stuff here. It's awesome. So, it was such a cool sound at that time. And it really, really shaped who I am as a songwriter, guitar player. And it really shaped what Killswitch Engage sounded like. So I guess we can partially blame In Flames for the existence of Killswitch Engage. Sorry, everybody, but you're to blame.
Inspired me just as a metal musician and as a fan of metal, and I know I'm not the only one. I mean, it inspired me. I think so many people I know for a fact in my generation music, but I know plenty of them before and after.
The first time I heard Clayman, I was immediately blown away by the production. It was crystal clear, it was bright, it was nuclear, it was coming right out of the speakers at me, and I loved it right away. It immediately hooked me. I know that sounds strange, but the production just right away, I was like, yes! And then, of course, that first riff of Bullet Ride hooked me in. I'm a guitar player, it's classic, the whole thing is crafted, the whole first song is crafted. To me, that's a standout track. The second track, Only for the Weak, also not a fast In Flames song, but just so uniquely melodic, but also perfect on the guitar. It was everything I wanted also, and something new, something I couldn't even imagine. It was a gift, And lastly, Another Day in Quicksand, it's a little bit later in the album. It's a standout track for me just because I loved it, and I think that Darkest Hour has really molded itself sometimes around themes in that song and the overall sound of not just this record, but In Flames in a lot of ways.
Hey, what's up everybody? Chris Broderick here. And a little known fact that some of you may not know is I have actually had the honor of being able to step on stage and jam with my buddies in Flames for a little over a year now. It's been an awesome time, but I don't want to talk about that yet. I actually want to go back to my history and my experience with In Flames and how I got to know them. It actually starts before ever meeting them. When I got my first European tour with Jag Panzer, we were on tour with Gamma Ray and another band called Hammerfall, and Mark Brighty kept telling me about this great band called In Flames that had co-written some music with Hammerfall, and I really liked the Hammerfall music that they were touring on, and so it was all such a new experience to me. I knew I had to get to know this band In Flames. So, less than like a year later, we go out on our next tour, and guess what? It's Jag Panzer opening, and then the direct support is In Flames, and then it's Iced Earth. And so I gotta go out and watch these guys bring it night after night, just slaying it on stage. And the awesome thing is that's actually from one of my favorite CDs, Clayman. And getting to hear some of those songs played live way back when they first released it was awesome.
I remember the Clayman did come out in the early 2000s, or actually 2000 to be exact, but I was a little bit late getting into In Flames because, as everyone knows, I got into metal and heard metal for the first time at 99. So it was actually around slightly before Ember to Inferno, would have been the era of the Blue demos. So 2002 is when I first ever heard In Flames, and I heard it through Napster, actually. Someone sent me Jotun off Napster, and I'd never heard any music ever like that ever before. So I was like, I need to find everything by this band. So I remember what I did is I actually, sorry In Flames, but this is the preface to the story. I downloaded all the available records at the time because I couldn't find them, because at that point it was hard to find metal records. So I called up my local bookstore. It was actually the bookstore, and I ordered every single In Flames record that was available, which would have been Clayman backwards, and maybe Reroute had just come out or was about to come out. But I ordered all of them. I waited for them to come in, and as I waited for them, I used the burned CDRs. Sorry, In Flames. But I bought them and threw those CDRs away as soon as I got them all in place. But Clayman was one that really spoke to me. It was one that was, I felt they were on a transition to something. I mean, the Gothenburg sound, we would not exist. I would not be here. Trivium would not exist without Jester Race through Reroute to Remain. And that Gothenburg sound of Jester Race, Horacle, Colony really was the foundational building blocks of what we became. But to see where Clayman was setting up to go into Reroute to Remain was really incredible.